All right, we are live on Twitch, and this is Basement Movie Room. We're here with Helmet Required, which I keep forgetting to do. Look at this. This chat's not working tonight either. Something's going on with streaming tonight.
Something's going on.
Anyway, we're going to be discussing The Mandalorian episode 4 of season 3, entitled The Foundling. So, what'd you think about the episode? Let's start out that way.
You know what? I really, really enjoyed this episode. I love like all the different kind of Mandalorian armor and stuff. It just makes me happy to see it. The episode overall, I really enjoyed it though. It kind of got back to that episodic, type of episode. So. Episodic episode. It makes sense. It does. In my brain.
Yeah, I really liked it as well. Yeah. I thought it was a nice little... It doesn't really move the story forward, I guess, would be the one problem I think I've seen about it, and I would agree with that. But it's kind of a fun little story to kind of get more Mandalorian relationships and things like that. So I think it's a good episode in that respect, is kind of to show us more of the Mandalorian, just kind of show Bo-Katan's kind of
alliance.
Integration.
Yeah, integration, alliance.
Yeah, alliance with them, and kind of how things are. You also get a little bit of Grogu getting some training in the episode, and a little bit like that. So, but yeah, overall, pretty good episode. Anything else to say before we kind of go into the recap?
Yeah, no, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's get dirty.
Dirty Mandalorians. All right, so we open up the episode, and it's basically the Mandalorians are training, and as you get a lot of view of the armor, we may be having some internet issues.
There may be something going on
having
here.
Some frame drops as well. In any case, we're going to keep going. The Mandalorians are training. You get a view of a lot of the Mandalorians kind of fighting, training, shooting, all that stuff. See all their different kind of mismatched armor that they have. Really, like, Bo-Katan, the Armorer, and Mando are the only three that have kind of matching armor in these scenes. It's kind of interesting because, Mando's kind of built his matching armor. And Bo-Katan has kind of, been part of royalty in Mandalore or whatever. So she's got some good armor as well. But the rest of the Mandalorians, it's all that mismatch armor, like beat up, like Boba Fett looking armor. One of the guys looks almost like Boba Fett.
I even pointed out to you. I was like, hey, I think that's pretty much Boba Fett's armor there.
It looks a lot like him. So
I like it. I like to see it all like beat up and
it's nice, battle scarred.
Yeah, battle scarred.
Paz Vizsla has pretty well matched armor as well. He's you can kind of tell the ones that have more power, to be honest, because their armor is more matched up, and they've done a lot more.
Been around a bit.
So as they're training, some of the kids that are in the Mandalorian covert here are training and having kind of like little duels where guys like judge them, kind of like a karate show off, like a karate competition where they're doing things. They get to choose their weapons and things like that, and they fight, and somebody scores them, points and things like that. So as Mando sees this, he decides Grogu needs to be involved in it because he's a Foundling. He's a Mandalorian Foundling. So he takes him over and says he's going to challenge. And I guess there's a question like, why doesn't he have a helmet? Because he can't say the creed yet. Why doesn't he have a helmet yet, even though he's like 55.
And I mean, honestly, what's a helmet gonna look like?
I've seen some mock-ups. It's really funny with the ear sticking out.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Are they just hanging out the bottom?
Yeah. Just push him down.
It's like hair.
He can't hear. So he takes Grogu over to challenge the one kid that we saw get his helmet in the last episode. We don't know the kid's name, but he's wearing his bluish colored helmet that he was given in the last episode before the Gator attacked, or the Turtle Gator attacked. But him and Grogu have a face-off, and the kid gets to choose what the weapon is, and he chooses darts, which means they got to put on the wrist dart things, and it ends up being paintball, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Like paintball darts, which is like perfect training material. So they put the wristbands on, and Grogu and this kid are having a challenge. Grogu's just kind of standing there. He doesn't really know what to do, and the kid gets 1 point on him, shoots him with a dart pretty quickly. And, Mando's looking at him and is like, you're on your own. You got to do this yourself. And so they go into another round of it, and the kid gets him again. So Mando pulls him aside and says, "Hey, I've seen what you can do. You need to do it. You can do it.
Stop holding back.
Stop holding back." So the third round comes up, and the kid goes to shoot at Grogu. Grogu does his little force jump over him, and the kid turns around, and then Grogu force jumps back over him, and then boom, 3 shots, and Grogu wins the match. So pretty cool. After that, the kid that he beat kind of walks off, and this big dragon-looking creature comes in and grabs that kid and flies off.
That kid is gonna have an issue with getting close to water.
Animals love this kid.
Yeah, I mean, first the gator turtle.
Yeah, they love this kid.
And now this dragon takes him. It's like, hey, kid, stay away from the water.
Stay away from the water, kid. You may not be a friend of the animals. So the dragon grabs him and starts taking him off, and a number of Mandalorians with jetpacks start chasing after, including Paz Vizsla and a couple of other recognizable ones. All their jetpacks run out of gas on the way there,
which is kind of great to see, because even watching this episode, you're like, hold on, this thing can fly forever. Yeah, it's not depending on gas or whatever. And when's these jetpacks could run out? And they do.
They run out of gas. Every one of them runs out of gas, so they lose the dragon. But
there's a lot of practical stuff that happens in this episode.
Yeah, so you see one guy
pretty
hard landing for one of them. He comes down and has to roll on the landing. So Bo-Katan gets in her ship and ends up following the dragon to its nest, and
some really really cool shots with her in that ship. What's the movie with I love the smell of
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now. It had that Apocalypse Now shot into the sun, chasing the dragon.
So he chases the dragon.
Yeah. And then the wide shot coming across.
Not chasing that kind of dragon. Although we can't rule it out.
And then the wide shot of her, coming across the desert. There are a lot of really good shots for this TV show. I mean,
right.
They're spending some money on it.
So she ultimately comes back to the covert and tells them that she followed the dragon from a high altitude and found its nest. She shows them where the nest is, and they get together a group that's going to go and take out the dragon, essentially, to rescue this kid, which, in my opinion, he should probably be dead already. But, whatever. It's fun Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, should have been bones.
Yeah. So that's kind of what happens in the opening, and then the credits are after that part. That's kind of the cold open of the episode. So they get a crew together to go after them, and Grogu is left behind with the armor because he's too young. He can't go, and she tells him that he has to stay there, and she takes him into her cave to the forge. She shows him the forge, and she begins forging a piece of armor for him. She tells him that people donate Beskar that they find, and it's for Foundlings. And she starts forging armor, and while the armor's forging, he's seeing sparks and things like that, and he has a flashback. His little PTSD to the flashback of Revenge of the Sith, of course, where all the Jedis are protecting him. 4 Jedis are protecting him against clone troopers. They managed to get him onto an elevator, and they say that get him to Kelleran, or I think is what they say.
Kind of very very reminiscent from Obi-Wan too.
Yeah, Obi-Wan did the same thing.
It's very close to
Yeah, it's very very similar.
And it's amazing how much better they're making those scenes look.
It's retroactive improvement.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. The show is looking really good right now.
Yeah, it certainly is.
And it makes you want to go back and watch Star Wars and enjoy it for what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's great. I mean, seeing more Jedis is always fun, even though the show has done well not to focus on Jedis, but we're seeing more of them here and there in very small doses. And they get Grogu onto an elevator, and he goes down the elevator. The Jedis that were protecting him all die, and one of them drops their lightsaber into the elevator. His elevator goes down, and the elevator doors opens, and it's a black Jedi by the name of Kelleran Beck, who is played by Ahmed Best.
Yeah.
This is Jar Jar Binks.
Yep.
This guy was mistreated severely by terrible Star Wars fans. Not regular Star Wars fans. These were the terrible people that should never be allowed to watch Star Wars anymore with the way they treated Jake Lloyd and Ahmed Best.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Because he got a lot of it pretty much
he got real close to suicide.
Yeah, it was.
If you watch
bad.
there's a pretty good bio on him. You can find it anywhere, if you go to YouTube or wherever. and he pretty much tells you life after Star Wars and how close he was to taking his own life, and he takes you to the bridge to where he was thinking about it. And, you know,
yeah, I haven't seen that, but you've told me about it.
Yeah, all over a stupid movie.
Yeah, because people felt the need to hassle him over this, over something he had no control over. He just took a role as an actor.
It's insane, you know.
It's crazy.
Criticism should only go so far.
Yeah, so Filoni and Favreau have brought him back as Kelleran back, giving him a little redemption. People have to love this guy. I mean, he's fantastic. You know, this character's fantastic.
And I'm not gonna lie, when he first came on, I was like, oh, who? He looks familiar.
I had it spoiled before I watched the episode, so I knew who it was ultimately.
But I think by the time he dropped him off, I was like, oh my god. And I was watching it with my son. I was like, that's the guy that played Jar Jar Binks. And he was like, oh, I love Jar Jar Binks. He's 11 years old. Yeah, my kid loves Jar Jar Binks. That's one of his favorite parts of Phantom Menace, and a little bit of the second one, which we will not name.
That would shut
but they lean heavily on the second one in these episodes.
Yeah, there's a lot of the
this season. Yeah.
So Kelleran Beck loads Grogu. He has a fight, double lightsaber fight, very cool. Kind of some Ahsoka vibes there with the double lightsaber fighting. Mm. He loads Grogu onto a motorcycle, like a speeder, I guess you would call it a motorcycle speeder, and they fly away, being attacked by clone troopers in the clone army ships that you see in that which shall not be named. And he gets to a landing pad where there's men waiting in red armor that have a Nubian ship, a Naboo.
You're like, Nubian. Yeah, he did the good voice.
So Kelleran, those guys sacrifice their lives essentially to save Grogu, which tells me Grogu may have some importance here. I don't know what it's going to be, but he's obviously very force powerful.
Yeah, it's Yoda's kid.
Yeah, it's Yoda's son. Yoda and Yaddle. Mm-hmm. Grogu. Yeah.
I mean, I think we're all
speculation.
I think we all see that by now. Yeah.
So Grogu's loaded on the plane with Kelleran Beck, and they fly away, being attacked on the way out, but they both make it out. So Kelleran Beck made it. So we may see more of him, possibly. He may have died of old age or something.
Do all those, speculations of Jar Jar going to the dark side, being a Sith?
Jar Jar's a Sith.
Is that going to happen? Is he an Inquisitor after this? That would be something. Oh my God.
People would lose it on that.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
Yeah. So that's
probably not, though. I'm sure it's out there.
Flashback, ultimately. And, it's a nice scene. I really enjoyed it. It's nice to see Ahmed Best get some Star Wars payback to the people who were assholes to him.
Yeah, a little redemption.
Yeah, it's real nice. So when the flashback ends, we're back into the Armorer's cave. She's made Grogu. She calls it something. I can't remember what she calls it. It's like a chest plate for him. It's small, but it covers basically his whole chest, and it's got the mud horn on it, just like Mando.
Of course, that's going to come into play later.
Yeah. It's got the mud horn on it, so he's got some chest protection. So if anybody tries to shoot him with a blaster, it's going to reflect it.
Tell you what, that's going to be pretty funny to see if he gets nailed with a blaster and just
flips backwards. Oh, yeah. It's going to be great. So I'm just laughing thinking about it. It's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
So after that scene, which that's the end of that scene, it's a nice little scene. He's getting more armor. He has the chainmail, of course, already. He's getting more armor. We jump over to the posse of, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's 8 guys, including Mando, Bo-Katan, and Paz Vizsla, that are going after the dragon to see if they can rescue the boy who was taken. And his name's Ragnar?
Yeah.
It's like a Viking name.
Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Viking name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they go to where the nest is. They land the ship a ways away, so the dragon won't know they're coming, because they say if the dragon knows they're coming, the dragon will just kill the kid if he's not already dead. And they go to, like, the dragon perch is like on one of those tall rock things that you would see out in, like, Death Valley or something like that, So they go over there. Paz Vizsla's got his massive chain gun on his back, and they have to climb this. And the armor also said earlier that she was giving him extended, like, hooks, like climbing hooks. So they have to climb, so they camp out for the night there to rest until the next day when they can climb. They get their food that's handed to them, and Bo-Katan's like, "How do you eat with your helmet on?" And this is the first explanation she's got that these guys actually can take off their helmets, just not in the presence.
Yeah,
of
she's like, "This is kind of crazy, but how does it work?"
Yeah. So she's tell
buying
her,
into it a little bit.
Mando tells her that they just go off and find their own place away from everybody else, and then they can take their helmets off and eat. She gets told because this is her mission essentially. She can sit by the fire still. She gets the benefit of sitting by the fire because this is her.
This is the way.
This is the way. So she takes her helmet off, and for the first time in a while. So she's been in her helmet for a while. So it's got to be some relief for her. She's not used to that. She was used to being without a helmet. And she eats her food.
That would be so like uncomfortable.
They don't have any family dinners
all the time.
No family dinners. Clearly,
yeah.
I mean, we've seen Mando kind of lift his helmet to drink, and do stuff like that, but he hasn't taken it off to do it. But in this, so we flash to the next morning.
I would dye my beard.
Yeah,
just throw people off.
That's right. Old dye beard.
Yeah, little dye beard.
So we're to the next morning, and they start climbing this tower using their grappling hooks. And I was kind of like, it'd be helpful if these hooks kind of could pull you up, because they just climb them like a rope. You know? They shoot them up and they attach, and then they climb them like a rope. So clearly there's no motorization behind it.
Even Batman could hit a device and pull himself up.
He totally could. He totally could. So you had mentioned that when you guys were watching it, your son Caden was like, "Oh, he's got to regret having that gun on his back," and I thought the same thing.
He was like, "I bet he wished he left that gun on the ground."
Yeah, because that thing's got to weigh 100 pounds on his back. He's a big dude, though.
Yeah, he's the first one up, though.
Fast Visa makes it, but we do find out when they get up that it is his son. We did not know that it's his son that's been taken, because he kind of jumps the gun when they get up there. He jumps. They find a heat source in the nest, because they don't see the kid. They see an empty Mandalorian helmet in there. So this bird, they said, has taken a few other people. And as soon as they get up there, they're like, "Oh, there's a heat source over there," and he jumps up and runs. It's like, "It's my son," and runs over there and starts getting in. And all of a sudden, 3 of these small baby bird dragons jump out at him and start jumping at him, and here comes Big Mama Bird.
Just old hairless birds coming out.
Hairless birds. That's what they look like, basically. Mama Bird crests the hill, and she spits up the kid, who's apparently been in her mouth for a while. And the kid starts yelling, "Help me," and whatever.
I guess after Boba Fett could make it out of the Sarlacc pit, I guess that kid could last a little bit.
He didn't have any real Mandalorian armor, though. He just has a helmet.
Yeah, just a helmet.
Other armor.
Yeah,
but
so
he didn't even look gooey at all.
He was pretty clean. Yeah,
it's a nitpick.
Once again, it's fantasy.
Yeah, it's fantasy. So when he spits the kid, when the dragon spits the kid out, they start firing on the dragon, and the dragon immediately grabs the kid again and flies off. Leaves its babies. I guess it wasn't going to fight for the babies. They're going to have more, whatever. Yeah. So the dragon immediately flies off, and they go after the dragon again, of course, on their jetpacks. And this time, they have a little more luck catching the dragon and whatnot, and fighting it. And it's funny because we're going to review Reign of Fire. It very much reminded me of the Drop Troopers and Reign of Fire with what they do to take the dragon down.
Exactly.
Shooting the things on their wings and things like that. So
stay tuned for that review, because that's going to be fun.
Probably later tonight if we have time.
Yeah.
Even. So, and that's all I could think about. It's like, hey, Reign of Fire.
Yeah.
So they ultimately...
because we were both talking about, this is a terrible strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you do this? But I guess it works.
It works out.
In
all their jetpacks.
In movies.
All their jetpacks are able to catch her this time. Because, she does have 2. Because I think Paz gets caught up in the mouth, right? Because she grabs...
Yeah.
She grabs Paz in her mouth, or one of the Mandalorians in her mouth. I can't remember if it's Paz for sure or not. And they're after her, fighting after her. And Bo-Katan gets knocked into the water. She loses a pauldron, which is important for the end of the episode. She loses a pauldron off her right arm. And but they do manage to take the dragon down and save the kid. I think Mando ultimately ends up saving the kid, right? He dives and catches the kid, I think is what it is. Because I mean, we're watching it, but I'm talking a little bit faster than the scene is going. But yeah, ultimately, the way they take the dragon down is they hit it with netting around its wings, which causes it not to be able to fly. It crashes into the water and immediately gets eaten by one of those alligator turtles that we saw from the first episode.
Little Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Coming to play right there.
I'm not talking about that. I don't like those movies. But yeah, they take the dragon down. They save nobody gets killed or injured in this fight. All the guys make it back, and they save the kid. So good ending there. But yeah, how'd you feel about all this?
Yeah, no, I thought, the whole action-packed scenes were, it's done so good for a TV show. It's like
the effects hold up.
The effects are great.
Yeah.
It had its flaws and stuff, and you just got to look past that and enjoyed every moment of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I love all the Mandalorian armor, just the different types of Mandalorians involved, and I love this universe.
Yeah. It's good to get more Mandalorians.
So, yeah. Which, last episode, I really, really enjoyed last episode because that's more world building.
Yeah.
This one is more episodic.
Yeah, for sure. It's a monster.
It got back to the original formula, but there's more to come with there's stuff in this episode that is expanding the world as well. They
always put a little bit in to expand the world.
And where they're going with the Mandalorian, I'm pretty excited about. And I hope everybody else is too. I want to see. Give me 10 seasons. No, not that many. But
don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that many.
So
give me 5.
One woman that I really like is Mando saves the kid. Dives after the kid and ends up right beside Paz Vizsla, and you get this moment. It's amazing to me how much they can show with helmets on. How much respect he earned from Paz Vizsla, because him and Paz Vizsla are not friends.
No.
But at this point, Paz Vizsla, I think, has respect for Mando, and they fought.
He saved his kid.
Yeah, he saved his kid, and he's like, so we're good.
Speculation: Paz and the armor bearer, is that their kid?
We have no indication.
I think so.
We have no indication.
She's just trying to be hardcore and let the husband go after him, you know. So, there's not too many women.
She is always horny.
She is.
She's got
2. So, there's not too many women in this group. So, where's all these kids coming from?
She got the horns on her. Is she a Zabrak?
Ooh.
I'm just throwing theories out there.
Let's go nuts. Let's get nuts.
That's right. The armor's a Zabrak. You heard it here first. She's Darth Maul's sister.
Oh my God! You know what? That would be amazing.
He was on Mandalore for a long time.
He was their king.
That's right.
A ruler.
But yeah, so they return back to the Mandalorian covert and land the ship. And they come out. The kid comes out, so everybody knows the mission was successful. All the Mandalorians are coming out, and Bo goes over to talk to the armorer, and the armorer says, you've done a great deed in Mandalore in saving a foundling. And she's like, and I've also brought you 3 more foundlings. And they pull the baby dragons off the ship. And she's like, you're gonna have to train these guys. And the armorer's looking like, okay.
That was a little goofy, but
it is.
At the same time,
it's going to set up some Mandalorian dragon riders.
Oh man, yeah. So we're getting
Dance of Dragons.
We're getting Dance of Dragons in Star Wars.
That's right. And so because she saved the foundling, the armorer said she's going to give her a new pauldron because she lost the pauldron. So they go in and they're talking, and Bo's like, hey, instead of the owl, can I put something else on my pauldron? She's like, what else do you want? And she goes, how about the mythosaur? And she goes, the mythosaur belongs to all Mandalorians. So she can put that on. So she makes her one, and as she goes to put it on, Bo reveals that she saw a mythosaur. And the armorer here is like, you know, we all see mythosaurs and things like that. And she's like, no, I really saw a mythosaur in the sacred waters, and the armor is just like basically this is the way.
Yeah.
And I told you online, people are saying, "Oh, this is so stupid. She didn't believe her or whatever. She thinks it was a vision or something." I didn't take it that way.
No, I think she's been there. I think she's worked in the mines. I mean, with her trade, working in mines, kind of go, you know, side to side. I think she's seen it too. So I think she's like, "Yep, duh."
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
So that's where the episode ends.
Yeah, enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, it's good. It's the shortest episode of the whole series at 32 minutes.
You know, for season 3, I know it's kind of getting a lot of backlash, I guess.
People are saying it's not going anywhere. I would agree somewhat, but it's not.
I see it differently. I see it's opening up a lot that's gonna incorporate a lot of cool stuff. I think it's gonna we're gonna get more Disney Plus, you know, shows from this. That's gonna all come together. I think they actually have a plan with these TV shows. So even Andor is incorporated in this. So in a sense, even though that was earlier. Yeah. So yeah, I'm loving it. I liked it. Yeah.
I liked it too. I really liked it. I don't know what they're going to do next episode. I don't know where they're going to go from here. I really don't. There's no.
They're probably going to go back to episode 3 and revisit that.
They might.
So
they could
with the cloning.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah. The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, that's Mandalorian for this week. We talked almost as long as the episode actually was.
Yeah.
A little less, I guess.
Hey, we get excited about Star Wars still.
We do get excited about Star Wars.
It's in our blood.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, we don't get crazy about it, but we still enjoy talking about it.
We do.
You know.
So, as for now, that's the end of Helmet Required, the Mandalorian podcast from Basement Movie Room. You can find us at youtube.com/@basementmovieroom, twitch.tv/basementmovieroom, or you can find us on any of your podcast apps, Basement Movie Room. We do a lot of different things. We do, obviously, TV show coverage. We don't know what we're doing after Mandalorian, but we got a good idea that we might do some retro showing.
We do, yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit of retro.
Oh no!
Flip the table over. little bit of action for you guys.
Sorry there.
So we will see you next time on Basement Movie Room. I'm going to just pause this live stream and leave it running for a little bit while we get set up for the movie reviews we're going to do. We got a lot of them to do. We may get through them all. We'll see.
Those beers go right through me.
We'll see you next time. What is it? Cheers.